Welcome back to the channel. Today, we confront a shocking and heartbreaking moment in American politics. Charlie Kirk, a prominent voice for faith, family, and country, has been assassinated at just 31 years old. His tragic death leaves behind a wife, 2 children, and a legacy that is already sparking fierce debate.
Thank you, Congressman Moran. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Charlie Kirk died yesterday at age 31, his neck ripped open by an assassin's bullet. He is survived by his wife, Erica, and their 2 young children who will never see their dad at a T-ball game or a high school graduation or a wedding. Make no mistake about it, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He was an incredibly effective force in American politics. He was beloved for his Socratic style of going to college campuses and gently, charitably asking questions and engaging in respectful dialogue with those whom he disagreed. Most of all, he was a very convincing advocate for love of God, family, and country, the hatred of which is a sacred creed of the left. They could not have it. They killed him. In April of this year, Charlie prophetically said on social media, "Assassination culture is spreading on the left. 48% of liberals say it would be at least somewhat justified to murder Elon Musk. 55% said the same thing about Donald Trump. The left is being whipped into a violent frenzy. Any setback, whether losing an election or losing a court case, justifies a maximally violent response. This is a natural outgrowth of the left-wing protest culture, tolerating violence and mayhem for years on end. The cowardice of local prosecutors and school officials have turned the left into a ticking time bomb." That was Charlie Kirk in April. Yesterday, a social media post of mine hit a nerve when I called Charlie a martyr. Without question, he was. The Athenians put Socrates to death for the simple crime of asking questions about culture and society and the meaning of life itself. Socrates was, in that sense, a martyr to the truth, and so was Charlie Kirk. But Charlie was also a martyr for Jesus Christ. A priest friend of mine sent me this short passage from St. Bede, referring to John the Baptist. "There is no doubt that Blessed John suffered imprisonment and chains as a witness to our Redeemer, whose forerunner he was, and gave his life for him. His persecutor demanded not that John should deny Christ, but only that he should keep silent about the truth. Nevertheless, he died for Christ. Does Christ not say, 'I am the truth'? Therefore, John shed his blood for the truth. Surely he died for Christ." Charlie also died as he was answering a question about the transgender cult that has gripped so much of our society and destroyed the life and health of so many of our young people. They couldn't stand for that, so they killed Charlie, martyr for the truth and for Christ. Well, what for us? Well, everything has changed. If we didn't know it already, there is no longer any middle ground. Some of the American left are undoubtedly well-meaning people, but their ideology is pure evil. They hate the good, the truth, and the beautiful, and embrace the evil, the false, and the ugly. And they literally will kill those with whom they disagree, just as their predecessor leftists Marx and Stalin and Lenin and Pol Pot and Fidel Castro did. We must know that. And we must stand firm, and we must win this twilight struggle. They killed Charlie, but as Tertullian wrote in the 2nd century, when the church was very much persecuted, the blood of martyrs is the seed of the church. May God raise up thousands of Charlie Kirks to take his place. To my fellow warriors in this fight, hold your families tight, be safe, pray even for those who persecute you. Yes, most of all, pray. Charlie Kirk, martyr for the truth. Pray for us.
What led to this devastating moment, and why his death is being framed as both a political assassination and a martyrdom. Charlie Kirk was more than a commentator. He built his reputation by traveling to college campuses, asking tough but respectful questions, and challenging cultural norms through dialogue rather than hostility. For many, he symbolized the fight for traditional values and the defense of God, family, and country. His ability to connect with young people made him a uniquely effective political figure. Back in April, Charlie Kirk warned of what he called an assassination culture emerging from the political left. He highlighted disturbing survey results showing large percentages of liberals believing it would be justified to murder figures like Elon Musk or Donald Trump. His words now sound prophetic. The violence he feared became the violence that ended his life. Supporters are already framing Charlie Kirk's death as martyrdom, both for truth and for Christ. Comparisons have been made to Socrates, who was put to death for questioning society, and to John the Baptist, who shed his blood for refusing to be silent about truth. Charlie Kirk's final act, speaking out against what he called the destructive transgender ideology, underscored his willingness to take on the most controversial battles of our time. His death is being cast not just as a personal tragedy, but as a turning point in America's cultural struggle. Critics argue that the left has embraced violence and chaos, echoing the legacies of Marx, Lenin, and Castro. Supporters insist that this is no longer a moment for compromise, but a time to stand firm, protect families, and fight for truth in an increasingly hostile environment. Before we move to the conclusion, I want to pause and ask you to click the subscribe button if you haven't already. This channel is dedicated to unpacking stories the mainstream won't cover, and your support helps keep these conversations alive. Subscribe now and join a community committed to truth and clarity. Charlie Kirk's assassination is being remembered not just as a loss of life, but as the beginning of something larger. His death has already become a rallying cry, with many invoking the ancient phrase, "The blood of martyrs is the seed of the church." Whether you admired him or opposed him, one fact is clear: his voice will echo far beyond his years. What happens next in America's political and cultural struggle may be shaped in part by the example he leaves behind. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, hold your families close, and keep seeking truth. Until next time.